Welcome to Bubby Brister's Fantasy Football Podcast, not presented by Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Nick, they've dropped us as a sponsor. We got a cease and desist from Bubby Brister this week?
I know that's rough. We're sitting here giving these stats for his fantasy league that we named in his honor, and we used to have him show up a couple of times, and now it's like we ain't seen him all year. He's always doing stuff. I guess that's what a retired guy does, but still, that's really cold.
Yeah, we got an email from Spotify who hosts our podcast, and they said Bubby's lawyers contacted them and they were going to pull our feed down if we don't change the name by January 1st. But yeah, so we have a big announcement coming next week on the season finale.
It'll be fun. We rapped about it, and we're really happy with what we're going to do here. We're going dolo.
Yeah, so fuck you, Bubby. Yeah, let's go to the Wingstop playoff bracket.
Yeah, yes. So it was an exciting week of fantasy football in this league.
Yeah, let's do Smashhawk versus Brandon first.
Yes.
So that was Mile High Salute 185, Smashhawk 165. Will was way closer than he should have been with this performance from Brock Purdy. 5 touchdowns, 46 points.
Man, Brock Purdy and Bijan was rocking for him this week, man. Brock Purdy last 2 weeks has been on fire. And 36 points last week, practically 100 points in 2 weeks. Man, he's hitting right at the right time, and you can't ask for anything better.
This is the guy you drafted?
Yeah, this guy drafted, but I would never be able to use it. These right here, if it would played out, if I still was on my team, this would be all like for waste. So it's good to see him doing something on somebody else's team.
This was the first time in his career throwing for 3 touchdowns in a single half. He is now 15-6 in 21 career road starts. He's 4-0 on the road this season. Yeah, he made this game respectable because it was a blowout going into Monday night. Bijan, this is his 5th game this season, over 150 scrimmage yards. He is just killing it lately. He's up to the 4th ranked running back. He has over 30 points, over 35 points in 4 of the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, with the way he's playing, he's been helping make Atlanta's season respectable. I will say, with the idea if the Atlanta Falcons have the outside shot of now making the playoffs if they win the next 2 games, and the Bucks lose the next 2, and Carolina has a lose one, then all of a sudden Atlanta is in. So it's yeah, it's making it a little bit interesting in Atlanta there, and Bijan's showing the hype that next year he'll guarantee be a top 3 pick again.
Yeah, I would think so as well. And then I was watching the Bears-Packers game Saturday night. It was a boring game. I shut it off with about 5 minutes left. I missed all the fireworks. It would all the 4 touchdowns they scored in the last 5 minutes.
Right.
I missed it all. But I did learn one thing watching this game on Saturday night, and that's we've been saying Monongani's name wrong. It's Monongai.
Manangai.
Monongai. He had 14 points for Smashhawk, and then McMillan scored a touchdown on 6 catches and 73 yards for Carolina. And is that an upset against Tampa Bay? You're the resident Bucks expert. Where are we at with this? Where are we at with this Bucks loss?
I don't think that's an upset. It was upset previous week against the Saints. They came in that game with the identical record, so it was what team was hotter, and Carolina played to win, where Tampa played not to lose, and Carolina played to win. Carolina played kind of loose and fast, where Tampa kind of just tried to run the ball, try to control the clock. They made a couple of bad errors in defense there. So Ted McMillan hit that touchdown was it was a zero coverage play. Tampa ran a full out blitz, zero coverage. Ted McMillan left side, wide open on a Pro Bowl alternate corner. So it just says it all there. Michael Wilson and Trey McBride. So those are the 2 players I'm circling. That's why he lost his game. Trey McBride has been on an absolute tear. We have been singing his praises on this podcast all season long. 6 points is his lowest score all year long. he didn't hit 5 catches. Like, that's unacceptable. The streak is over. It's just, it went out wet fart. That sucks.
Yeah, 8 targets. Wilson, like the 13 is respectable, but yeah, that's a good call by you, pointing to that right there.
Because if you got his average, like, think about it, throughout the season, he's averaged at least 12 to 15 points.
Well,
Because
we have it right here. McBride is averaging 18 points a
there you
game this
go. So
season.
18 points a game. So if you make that 6 to an 18, now you have a closer game. There, it's a little bit closer. Throw 12 on the board. He'll still lose, but it'd be a lot closer. And I think he would have got a little more.
Wilson's averaging 11 points a season, but that's skewed by his first 10 weeks. So, he didn't pop off until week 11.
Right. And then after that week 11, he's got to be averaging at least 20 points a game. 32 over 30s, 120, a 6, 16, 13. Like, it's there's no way you fall back down to earth again against Atlanta's defense. So it's just but the Cardinals found a way to do it.
Yeah, Michael Carter, 10 points, 66 yards, just ho hum. Yeah, playing 3 Cardinals is. I don't think that's a recipe. It did work for a while since Brissett came in, but that's still not a team you want to hitch your wagon to. They're not the greatest show on turf.
Right. And on the bench, Chris Rodriguez has been really up and down. So I understand why you would run a guy who's guaranteed to be the starter, and you hope that Michael Carter would fall in the end zone, like Bam Knight would do a couple of times this last couple of weeks. So you're thinking that'd be the play. Chiefs defense let him down to 24 points allowed by the Tennessee Titans. Even if you lose your starting quarterback, you're not supposed to let Tennessee score 26 points on you, man. You're the Chiefs. Let's be respectful here, guys.
Yeah. We pointed out that their defense might take a hit without Mahomes, but without Minshew, it was just a wrap. They found like a popcorn vendor to be the third string quarterback.
Right, and that's disrespectful because I think they should have called up. They had the one guy that was a Jacksonville Jaguar quarterback, got drafted by Jacksonville, and then he
Oh,
was the backup quarterback there for like when they won a Super Bowl.
Blaine Gabbert.
There you go. Fucking get Blaine off the damn couch. I mean, he was there like, yo, you as soon as Mahomes went down, you said, let's call Blaine in for backup QB to Minshew because he knows the offense at least, and call it a day. Like, you guys go into some backup off somebody's practice squad is unacceptable.
Yeah, he's not that Olukin Dukin guy. He's a 28-year-old like camp
Journeyman,
arm.
right? Camp arm, journeyman. He's never had he's never made like had a $3 million contract before. It's like you need to have a legit guy in there. I don't know if maybe the Chiefs are like, we're just trying to save money because we're not making the playoffs, we're dead, so let's fuck it, who cares, or whatever. But it's just, you got to be respectful. Be a little more respectful to your fan base. You're not gonna trot this out. That same bullshit that Minnesota's about to do this week. They're about to trot out that Max Balmer guy again. Like, be respectful, guys. Like, this is not okay.
Yeah, the Chiefs, they're really shitting on their fans this week. They announced they're moving to Kansas City, Kansas. They're leaving the state of Missouri. Second football team to leave the state of Missouri in the last decade because the Rams.
But Kansas City is actually about to be Kansas City. Real Kansas City. Like, hey, it's bad enough that the New York Jets play in Jersey. You got to at least, hey, where you're from, be where you're from.
To Brandon here, though, he's lucky this game reseeded because if we would have went by the bracket, he would have played either Jordan or Slade and lost by 2 points.
Yep, that's a loss.
So he wins this 185. He didn't get the high points despite scoring 185. Just, I guess you can blame that on Dalton Kincaid 0.
0, yeah. Dalton Kincaid was 0 is kind of a head scratcher, man. It's like, for real. But he did that. Joe Burrow bounce back game after a really bad game. So you expect Joe Burrow, like I was thinking about, I was thinking about was that Baker Mayfield's gonna have a bounce back game. Well, Joe Burrow had the bounce back game after a poor showing last week against Miami, 4 touchdowns, 309. Looking like, and he spread the ball around too. It wasn't just I'm gonna feed Jamar Chase all afternoon and call it day. Like, he fed the ball around. So it was a very good situation for him. Saquon 132 and a touchdown. Saquon looking like Saquon at the right time. This is where you draft him for to help you in his playoffs right here. We've been kind of dogging him this year.
You have been. I've been defending him.
You've been kind of dogging him too.
I've been saying he's been decent.
He's been decent, and that's disrespectful in the first place.
But my trio here of Cook, Barkley, and Harvey, what is that?
Yeah,
53, 64 points between the three of them? No,
Cook's
more than
been
that.
Cook's
What's
been absolutely murdering it right now. I just
54,
ever
85. 85 points between Harvey, Barkley, and Cook.
ever since the bye week, James Cook has been on fire, and he's a fifth ranked running back, which is crazy. I feel like every week I see at least 20 to 30 points every time, and it's like, nah, you're not even top three.
Listen to this stat I got on him. He's the NFL's current rushing leader with 1,532 yards. You don't see that anymore.
Yeah, you
And
don't see
then
that.
this was his 12th game over 100 plus yards from scrimmage this season.
Mm. Yeah, they feed the ball for him, man. It's like definitely 100 yards from scrimmage. They make sure in Buffalo that he's involved in the offense, and some of it has to do with the idea that the receiving core is below par in Buffalo. It's a lot of Josh Allen to Cook, not a lot of Keon Coleman's healthy scratching. Their wide receiver core has been swapping out a whole lot. James Cook is the beneficiary. He's playing that Alvin Kamara role.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll be a first round pick next year. Just he went 27th overall this year.
Yeah, he'll be first round guaranteed.
Speaking of receivers, Higgins and Sutton did very well, combining for 34 points, 9 catches, and 139 yards, and each of them got in the end zone.
Yeah, Sutton 6 for 86 and touchdown is really good. He's been on a nice little run. I won't call it a tear, but it's been on definitely a little run for the last since their bye week. He hasn't scored less than 12 points. In the last two games, he's had 44 points. So again, this is what you want your players to do: hit right at the right time. I have seen a lot of games in a lot of fantasy leagues right now that either you have the boom or you have a major bust. Your player just hits for 4 points, 3 points. Some of these players are just not hitting. So if you have the players that are actually hitting touchdowns right now, you're sitting pretty.
Yeah, Sutton 3 touchdowns in the last 4 weeks and double-digit targets the last 3 weeks. He has 32 targets in 3 weeks.
And both their fantasy special teams have been very respectful. Where Smashhawk had 23 points and Mile High Salute popped 26. So it's doing it right at the right time. But unfortunately, Mile High just got a little more points that Burrow and the 3 running back stack got him over.
And I want to shout out Brandon's strategy here of adding Tyler Shuck to his bench for 24 points. We're going to see in this next game. This is why we've been saying for weeks, pad your bench points, especially during the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Because this next game is no joke. This is this is wild. So we go to Slade and Jordan. This is a 187 to 187 tie. So Jordan texted me during the game last night when it appeared that the 49ers were gonna win and Slade had the 49ers head coach. So this would have made it 187 to 187. And I told him, the tiebreaker is bench points, and basically his only path to victory here was Ty Warren getting one more catch because Slade had him on the bench, 41 to 34. Jordan had Jennings on the bench, the 49ers receiver, but he wasn't going to make up, 15 points in the last 10 minutes of the game, especially when they were leading.
Right.
They were basically done throwing the ball. So his only prayer was Warren getting a catch. That was with about 8 to 10 minutes left in the game when we started going back and forth. And then we get down to 2-3 minutes left in the game. Rivers targets Ty Warren, but he throws a pick six. First tie in our 18-year history in the postseason.
I'm kind of mad that I want to understand, I want to interview Jordan and ask him why did he go with quarterback 9 in this playoff game?
Yeah, that's a fair question.
He trusted McCarthy, which McCarthy in the last 2 weeks giving you 29 and 30 against Washington and Dallas. So he's been all right. He's bubbling. He's been percolating a little bit the last 2 weeks, 5 touchdowns. But I just feel that there was better options out there at QB because at QB he could have ran like maybe Bryce Young. He could have he could even ran Phillip Rivers maybe. Phillip Rivers was due to keep doing a little bit more. Um, even in a shocker, even Cam Ward. I'd probably started Cam Ward over quarterback 9 because Cam Ward's been showing that he could sling it.
Yeah, Titans have been better since they fired their coach.
Right, they've been a lot better. So there's no way. I'm not even going to mention Geno Smith who's sitting out there. I wouldn't trust Geno. I wouldn't.
No.
Yeah, he's just Geno's still have you for 4 points. So if you've done 4 points one time, you're not trusting it in a playoff game. Because QB9, I don't. I just it is. I just see it and I'm like, dude, QB9 scored 9. And it's like a Philsian effort. And this is a guy who scored 2 points, 5 points. Like it's like 11
Can't stay
points.
healthy.
He can't stay healthy. He's never connected with Jettis. Like he has no connection with Jettis at all.
Yeah, even when he's doing well, he's not hitting Jefferson up. Yeah, he 5 touchdowns, 59 points the last 2 weeks. Fair question though, for sure. Trusting JJ McCarthy, who can't finish a game. They just announced today he's out with a broken hand now. So you can directly point to that Patrick Mahomes injury to why Jordan didn't advance here.
Yeah.
So Slade won the bench 41-34. They both left holes on their bench. Neither of them used their IR spot when they both had guys who could have slotted in there. Kamara could have went on Jordan's IR spot. Adunze or Luther Burden III could have went on Slade's IR spot, and then they could have padded some bench points there. So when I woke up Tuesday morning, I knew that they tied. So the first thing I wanted to make sure
bench points right, or will it tie?
It went through, but the website had Jordan advancing to the championship game. So I was like, what? Why did this happen? I was almost late leaving for work looking into why it would advance him over Slade. So the first thing I check is the league info, and I see it says playoff seeding tiebreaker, total points 4. So I assume that meant regular season points, right?
Right.
But that isn't what playoff seeding tiebreaker means. I was thinking that just meant playoff tiebreaker. I was in a hurry, I had to go to work, and thank God I checked. So I went and looked, and no, Slade won the regular season points total, 1901 to 1886. So now I'm like, okay. He won the bench points. He won the thing that I thought it said that it didn't say. I need to go into the help. I need to ask ESPN what happened here. I find it in the FAQs. It says, quote, if there's a tie in a playoff matchup in a standard league, the higher seeded team will advance. This is the default setting in league manager leagues. And then it says note, because remember, we are a league manager league.
Right.
I knew in the past that the ESPN website did not have the option for bench point tiebreakers in playoff games for some reason. It makes no sense. It's totally stupid. But we've always operated that was the case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've never had a tie, so we never had to have this break glass in case of emergency dig into the rule book. So after it says this is also the default setting in league manager games, it says note. In league manager leagues, the league manager has the ultimate say on which teams advance using the edit head-to-head schedule option in LM tools. Each league may establish their own tiebreaker system, with the league manager advancing the team that wins it. And I almost called you, just to go over with you what should happen. And I was like, no, this is clearly a case of bench points.
Clear cut. It's always bench points. We've always done bench points. And if it applies to regular season, because bench points applies to regular season, the same applies to playoffs games. This isn't a tie situation. This will not be a tie. This will be this is going to be a tie. This is a straight up win. We have to have a winner, so bench points matter. So yeah.
So when for like the 10 seconds I thought Jordan won on regular season points instead of bench points, I was kind of ready for that to be the case. Because you don't want to go against the website, really. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I thought, that's dumb. Why is the playoff tiebreaker different than the regular season tiebreaker? And I'm always an advocate for the fantasy league should mirror reality leagues. And then I realized hockey has a different regular season tiebreaker than they do in the playoffs. Baseball has a different regular season extra innings rule than they do in the playoffs. But, then of course I saw that Slade scored more points than Jordan. So that thought was quickly dismissed. But I'm glad Jordan texted me during the game last night, so it was clarified in advance that he was aware that this was bench points.
Yeah.
And that we were operating on the regular season policy. But this off season, I'm gonna write up a Google Doc that has like 5 playoff tiebreaker scenarios, and then I'm gonna post them on the message board prior to each season, like I do the payouts.
Yeah. Just to make it nice and clear. I mean, who knows? We'll have another tiebreaker ever, but I mean, in a tie game in the playoffs like this. But I mean, first time for anything. It took a decade and some change, but we got there.
18 years, yeah. The if their benches would have tied, I think we would have had to go to a WWE style triple threat match.
Oh yes, we'd have to just have them link up on a Wednesday night and to say like who the winner take all. Whoever pissed one down the ground first gets the playoff spot. How bad do you want it?
Yeah, I think if their benches would have tied, we would have had to go Brandon versus Jordan versus Slade this weekend, and just the leader of those 3 would have been declared champion had their benches tied up, because their benches were close. It was only 7 points.
Yeah, which is crazy. But I tip my hat to you, Jordan. You came out real hot. With Warren had an amazing game against the Detroit Lions. I just don't know about Detroit.
Jalen Warren, not Ty Warren.
Yeah, Jalen Warren. So Jalen Warren had an amazing game against the Detroit Lions. I just don't understand the Detroit Lions. They look like absolute fried fricassee out there against the Pittsburgh Steelers. A-Chain was making it work. He's the only Dolphin worth a damn.
he had 48 of his 81 yards on a touchdown run in the first quarter. So he's lucky he got that in the bank, because otherwise that quarterback switch did affect him.
Yes, it did. Puka came out Thursday and just set a house on fire. 12 catches, 225, 2 touchdowns, in a losing effort.
I want to touch on Puka real quick. This was fresh off his anti-Semitic dance appearance on that live stream, where he also managed to call into question the integrity of the NFL and their referees.
Mm-hmm.
That's a double whammy. I kind of think he should have been suspended for this game, even though that would have been like a season-altering suspension. Like, what a dumb fuck.
Yeah, Puka is not smart. I've heard about this with other. I was hearing about this with other people. Like, they say he's a really nice guy and he's very laid back, but it sounds like he's really caught up in this manosphere bullshit, and he's really kind of. I am not a fan of football players that do other bullshit during football season. I need you to lock in on my fucking team from August to fucking February, okay? I don't need you doing any other bullshit live streams with fucking ass hats and you just doing anti-Semitic bullshit. You can do all that shit in March, April, May. I don't give a fuck about that, okay? You could,
you can be a Nazi before September.
Right. You want to do all this weird stuff, hand-wringing stuff, whatever. It's ridiculous. He better hope he don't get knocked out on the field for playing this game. Part of me says I don't want to draft him next year. I feel he's gonna get rocked next year. Like, I feel like it'll be bad. Something weird is gonna happen now because
he's dodged a couple of major injuries.
Right, he's gonna be fucking weird. He's about to get his fucking contract, and he's about to get hurt. He's about to get paid because he's like on his rookie contract still.
Yeah, so, yeah, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago.
Right, and now he's gonna get paid. He have all his money. He's gonna do something dumb, hanging out with these streamer guys, and it's gonna bleed over to NFL. And it's going to bleed into the locker room, and it's going to be ridiculous in LA. Like, Puka, how could you?
Yeah, I saw a writer say that they interviewed Puka and he came off as extremely naive to him, even though he did seem like a nice guy. And then the first case of players doing off-field stuff like this that I can remember, like trying to get in the entertainment industry during a season, was the T.O. show on Versus, when T.O. and Ocho Cinco were members of the Bengals.
Yeah, and like what's name? You have also have what Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall was doing like NFL Today or NFL Tonight or whatever. He would like do the NFL type thing Tuesday nights at the end of his career. And I wasn't a big fan of that, but it was more controlled environment. So I'd be like, it's okay. I'm not a big fan of Michael Parsons doing a podcast in the middle of football season. I'm like, dude, go play video games. Do something else. Like, I don't want to hear you talk football when you're a football
Yeah.
player. I'm not a big fan of that. But as we digress, Devontae Smith, 6 for 42. Um, I don't know about Devontae because I feel like he's getting the raw end of stick. Because I feel like he has a better, like he works with Hurts does better than what AJ Brown does. Just AJ Brown's force fed a lot more passes than he does, but he's getting like 8 targets a game. Just he's not getting the value on the yards itself.
No, yeah, this was his first touchdown since week 10. He had single digits for 3 weeks coming into this. 16 is good, but yeah, he hasn't popped off since week 7.
Yeah. Charbonnet had 19 points. The Seattle running backs both had a nice game. They were running all over the Rams that game. Charbonnet, he fell in the end zone and had a couple of catches as well. Saints defense, 31 points. You know, you don't picture 31 points. They were getting after the quarterback that game. That definitely padded those stats against the Jets there with 8 sacks against them.
Yeah, I
Which
was fascinated by this move. So he obviously identified the juicy matchup versus the Jets, who are on their third quarterback this season. And this was the first time in the league this season that anybody used the Saints defense. So props to Jordan for the Saints play here.
yeah, because it would have made the game a lot less closer if he didn't play them because no defense hit that point total. And Loop missed a field goal, so if he would have made a field goal, Jordan had to win.
So when I was texting with Jordan, I could sense a tone in his text that he was a little bit irritated that this was going to tie, because he was like, if this came down to decimals, I would have won. And I was thinking, well, we're never doing decimals.
Decimals, we're never doing that shit. No,
I'd rather ties.
right. I'd rather have ties.
So then I texted him. I was like, well, you had the Bears head coach on your bench. Like, that would have been a path to victory.
That's your path to victory. Yeah.
I pointed out Loop Smith's field goal on Sunday Night Football against the Patriots. That was a key miss for him. He's no Justin Tucker.
You could have started Jennings.
You could have not started J.J. McCarthy. But yeah, this is just a tough loss for him. And you could have padded your bench. Like, Kamara should have went in the IR spot.
Yep. Oliver Gordon shouldn't be rostered.
Yeah, I think he was picking up Achan's handcuff, but Jalen Wright is the handcuff.
Kamara.
But he did finally drop Brandon Ayuk and Mixon, and then Mixon, or Ayuk was filming himself driving 100 miles per hour past the 49ers stadium.
Yep, going nuts. Yep. You know what I mean? Alvin Kamara was ruled out for that game. Like Alvin Kamara is not playing the rest of this year. They're not. They're moving off him next year. So he could have dropped Alvin Kamara. Like, there's different ways. Like, he could have had players that actually were going to play.
Yep, pad your bench. We've been saying it for ever since we started this podcast. Some of my secrets have gotten out doing this podcast. Like
right. Yeah, we talk about it. We're like, dude, your bench is terrible. Like, we say to people, oh, hey, your bench is terrible. You have nobody on your bench. Like, your bench is trash.
Some of my secrets: pad your bench, have your flex lock last. Like, this is good advice, and I can't make you listen to
right. It's standard stuff, And New Day Co-op tied him right in the hot hand of T-Law, who has been on fire, 10 touchdowns last 2 weeks.
That's my player of the week.
Chase Brown, 3 total touchdowns, which is crazy. He was catching passes, running passes, absolutely doing it all. Very impressive.
Chase Brown was the first player this season to score 3 times in a single quarter. Oddly enough, he's done that 3 times in his career already.
Wow.
And then, yeah, I want to shout out Trevor Lawrence here. 279, 4 touchdowns against Denver on the road. Like, what a play by him. He outscored Dak by 18 points. Lawrence has been over a 100 passer rating in each of the last 4 games where he's thrown 12 touchdown passes, ran for 2, and 0 interceptions. Like, if Trevor Lawrence throws a pick, Slade loses this game.
Yeah, and and props to him because I would have probably started Dak against the Chargers, again against the Denver Red Hot Denver Broncos defense. Like I wouldn't trust that because he gave me a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, good call on making that happen there. Um, Kyron Williams, 70 yards rushing, 19 yards, just consistent. I say it every week, consistent. Like it's just you know what you're getting, no more, no less. Rank eighth, on a steady streak of, hey, I'm giving you more. I'm giving you just enough points. The Tampa game was his lowest game all year, and other than that, he's been above 12 points every game this season. So you're getting something. You're getting double digit from him, guaranteed. CeeDee Lamb is bothersome for me because just 6 for 51. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. It's
it's
like just
it's decent, but yeah, you definitely want more. And then Zay Flowers had a really nice game, 7 catches, 84 yards. He even ran for a touchdown, but he fumbled. His fumbled sealed the victory for the Patriots, and it almost cost Slade this victory here.
right. I mean, if he didn't fumble, yeah, Slade would have had a guaranteed win. Would have been it would have been locked in for sure. Zay Flowers also got the Pro Bowl nod today, so that's really interesting that Zay Flowers is a Pro Bowler. Um, I wouldn't think he would, just 1,000 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns would get you there, but I guess he's there.
He has 55 points the last 3 weeks, so like he's setting up for a dip in the championship game next week.
Oh no, say it ain't so. Coppett Senior had another nice outing, 757 on a touchdown, 18 points.
London did play, right?
I think he did. I feels like he did, but I have no idea if he did or not. But he's been actually red hot with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has been out there. He's been getting at least 8.8 targets a game with London missed.
He's up to the number 2 ranked tight end. He is going to dupe so many people in drafts next year when
Oh
Penix is
yeah.
back in.
Oh yeah. They're gonna Penix is back, and well, he's not gonna be on that team next year. He's gonna go somewhere else.
That's
So
true.
he can go somewhere else, and then they're gonna dupe somebody. Somebody's gonna draft him like second round, and it's gonna be like, oh, yeah, I got Coppett Senior. He's gonna be like, brown, brown. You
I'm
know what I
calling
mean?
it right now. Freeman is a sucker for the
Oh, no.
established veteran who switches teams in the offseason. So when Pitts joins, I don't know,
Denver Broncos.
yeah, Freeman's going to be all over it.
You know what I mean? So that's a tough one there. Keon Mitchell. So we praised him last week for this Keon Mitchell play, because he got 8 points out of this, and we're like, all right, eight rushes for 66 yards. It did not work out for him at all this week for 3 points in that flex position.
Yeah, I was surprised he went back to the well in this one. He's still only owned in 1.8% of leagues. He got hurt in this game as well. He had a calf injury. I mean, I don't see how you can play him in the championship game next week as a flex.
He's been riding along with the Rome Aduje on the bench for a while. He's just been injured. I would have probably sold stock on Rome by now, but he's still sticking with them. Tucker fell in the end zone. Very weird game plan because they ran all 3 running backs, but then when they got in the end zone, when they got to like the 2 or 3 yard line, Sean Tucker got all the goal line close yardage carries. So it's weird they didn't run Bucky that time. They kept running Sean, and Sean was like, he fell in one time. He had a second opportunity and didn't get in because he didn't cut early enough. So a little insider there. Burden got 0 points too. I think he was hurt that game.
Yeah, him and Adunze were both hurt.
So it's tough. I mean, he could have probably scoured through free agency and maybe picked up somebody else to kind of fit in. But his path to victory was his fantasy special teams. 38 points, to Jordan's 36. is that's that's the key to the game there.
Another secret, he had the Monday night head coach. Sometimes if you can wait to use that head coach on a Monday to see if you need it or not is a good play. And
Yeah.
yeah, 49ers beat the Colts on the road despite Phillip Rivers' best effort. Hats off to Phillip Rivers, by the way. That was
Yep.
super fun to watch.
Sort of fun to watch. He's making throws that like the Colts hadn't seen a quarterback do since like Andrew Luck. So it's they're like, man, look at these throws. This is amazing. These tight windows, he's throwing in it.
Wait. Colts haven't seen a quarterback make throws like that since Phillip Rivers. He played
So
there.
yeah, Phillip Rivers driver. Yeah, it's true. Since Rivers, and that's a long time ago. Golly,
Yeah. Yeah, they've been
you
through
know.
Matt Ryan since then, and he was noodle armed.
Yeah, he was noodle armed. So it's just tough. New day co-op. Congratulations on the win. Jordan, you had a really good season, man. 11-3. 5-game winning streak was snapped. Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately he's gonna go away. He's gonna have to next year with a top record. He has a high chance of having the last pick with our draft next year. So we'll see how it plays out for him.
That'll be determined in the playoff bracket. So he's playing Smashhawk in the $50 game next week. But yeah, it's just you hate having to go against the website, but we had to do it. So we get the number 4 versus 7 matchup with Mile High Salute versus New Day Co-op. Who do you got?
Very interesting matchup this week. Do you ride the hot hand Ty Log is Indianapolis, or Joe Burrow versus Arizona? My salute seems to have all the great matchups this week coming up. Um, because I do like the Bengals against Arizona, which is kind of floundering. Cortland Sutton against a Kansas City Chiefs team that just given up on life as we know it. But it's hard to like. Lawrence has been on a heater. Kyron Williams is going to give you exactly what you need against Atlanta. CD Lamb we'll see on Christmas. See what the Cowboys could do there. But I think Mile High's going to take this win. I just do not trust this Mitchell matchup. He's really trying to troll out one more time in flex position against a Ravens team that I don't think that your boy Lamar's going to play.
Right. Yeah,
And
Lamar's probably out.
it was coaching malpractice because Derrick Henry's having a game and they didn't even run him at all in the fourth quarter. It's weird. This NFL season, I don't want to say NFL's rigged, but man, some things are so weird this year. I don't want to believe it, but damn, some things are just like
I think a lot of it comes down to the 17th game because they've canceled preseason games. Essentially, what they did is they just tacked on the preseason game onto the end of the season now. Because look at how many teams are already eliminated. When the natural order of things is this should be the last game coming up. The
right.
16th game, but they've made week 18 essentially a preseason game. So I mean, guys are being shut down earlier because the
Yeah,
teams are getting eliminated earlier. It's totally backfired. I hate it so much. But
yeah,
yeah, this Keaton Mitchell play at the flex, that looks like a herpy in his lineup. And then
yes,
Trevor Lawrence, like Indianapolis has like literally a 1% chance of being in the playoffs. They can't roll Phillip Rivers back out there unless he really wants to play in front of his kids or something.
which he does.
Yeah, he might, but they probably would be behooved to see if Riley Leonard, what he's got, or if Anthony Richardson can get on the field, see what he's got. So I don't think this Indianapolis versus Jacksonville game is going to be much of a shootout, which could hinder Trevor Lawrence. That being said, I think you got to play him over Dak.
Yeah, but Dak against the Commanders might be a sweet matchup too because the Commanders are kind of they're Josh Johnson now.
Yeah. Dak said today he vows to play the rest of the season.
So I mean, it might be a 4 touchdown situation for Dak.
Yeah, he's got a quarterback controversy. Good on Brandon for picking up Joe Burrow. He picked him up back on September 18th. He dropped him on November 6th, but I think that was just a procedural move because he re-added him right away. So good for him. I thought Burrow was out for the year when that injury was announced.
Yeah, and then he magically came back. It's weird. Quarterbacks are coming back. People are coming back faster in general with like collarbone injuries. Because even I thought when Mike Evans was out with a collarbone, he's done. But then here's Mike Evans back now, and he's had like 12 catches the last 2 weeks. So you're like, what's happening?
Yeah, Jordan Addison is. He's got to keep him on the bench with that Brahmer guy playing.
Yeah, it's no good. I mean, I guess it's what the lineup is. What the lineup is. There's not a lot of options here based on these lineups here.
Right,
And
so I'm circling Keaton Mitchell for Slade, and then for Brandon, I'm circling Dalton Kincaid. I know he's been hurt. Do you think there's a better tight end out there? Let's
there
go
might
look.
be, tight end
There's
wise, there might be something out there. Like you might roll with Seattle's one possibly. Um,
Barner.
Even Mike Gesicki, who's caught touchdowns this past week. Yeah, with Burrow coming back, he's been getting his targets up a little bit, so he's been getting something. He had 12
What,
points last week, and 3 weekends ago he had 20 points.
what about our guy, Evan Ingram?
Evan Ingram, I, I don't know. I don't know about that.
He has 9 points the last 3 weeks.
It's not pretty. That's it. I was like, I don't know about Mike. I don't know about that now. Luke Musgrave might be interesting pickup.
He had a really nice catch in that Bears game.
He's been giving you like with the quarterback, is Love going to play? Is he not? If Willis is playing, then it's a lot of short passes again, and he might get some looks.
I think I'm going to have to take Brandon here.
Yeah, I'm not going to go Brandon. Like I said, it's New Day co-op. That Mitchell player scares me.
I don't remember who we took. We took Slade and Brandon. So we got both games right last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Slade's coming off a huge win. We'll see if he can make magic happen twice. But yeah, that Barkley Cook Harvey trio I think is too good to beat. And then you add on top of that Higgins and Sutton and Burrow. I just don't see how Brandon can lose.
Yeah. True.
Slade's Brown Williams combo and then Lamb Flowers combo is good too. And then Pitts has been unstoppable, but that he's essentially playing with one arm behind his back with Keaton Mitchell.
Yeah, he has a hope that Key Mitchell get on the field, and that's if Derrick Henry doesn't carry the rock. I mean, he carries the rock like he has been. He's not getting any carries.
Both head coaches have terrible matchups. Bills home against Philly, and then 49ers home against the Bears. I mean, I guess at least they're both home, but those are playoff teams. Yeah, good luck, guys.
Right. Good luck, y'all.
So that brings us to our Hall of Famer. It's you this week.
Yep. So my Hall of Famer this week, um, I threw it together last minute, but my Hall of Famer this week will be no other than Mr. Mark Brunell. A lot of people might recognize him, remember him for actually being a Jaguar. He brought him to the AFC Championship game, um, and he played for the Redskins for a good while. When I think about him, he had that Monday night game against Dallas where he threw for like 3 touchdowns on 3 passes.
Santana Moss.
Yeah, Santana Moss was just like running. He just threw it deep, and Santana Moss caught it and just kept running. So, and now I think of Mark Brunell. I found out today, fun fact, that Mark Brunell at his combine ran a 4.56 40. That is like he ran almost as fast as RG3. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, he was a big guy, 6'1", 215. He moved really well with Jacksonville, not so good with Washington. He was the quarterback Joe Gibbs picked for his comeback attempt.
Okay. Doing that run and gun offense.
Yeah, he went 15 and 18 with the Redskins from 04 to 06. He spent 2 years as
Didn't you replace Ramsey?
Yeah, Ramsey, Tony Banks was in there. It was a mess. That was after Spurrier.
Yes.
Shane Matthews was in there. I think Danny Werfel
Wow.
made an appearance.
Oh, Werfel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a shit show.
the Redskins was churning out QBs back then.
He was before Jason Campbell.
You had a Gus Frerotte in there somewhere. I mean, they had a lot going on back then. Campbell was the quarterback that should have been. He should have been.
Brunell spent 2 years as Drew Brees' backup. Wasn't he on the Lions at some point too? like hanging out?
No. So I think his championship win was with Drew Brees. I think he was back up there Drew Brees when they won the championship.
You sure he wasn't a Lion?
Nope, he was not.
I don't see it on his reference page. I really think he was.
He wasn't. I think getting kidnapped him like mixed.
No. Right here. Mark Brunell, Detroit Lions. Oh, he's a quarterback coach. That's what it is.
Oh, right now? Oh, well, there you go. Well, there you
Okay,
go.
that was going to drive me nuts.
He's a quarterback coach now. His numbers here. So his best year, technically for yards, is his second season with Jacksonville. He threw for 4,300 yards and had 19 touchdowns, 20 receptions. It has nothing like great. His peak season for touchdowns for real was when he was with the Redskins at the time. He threw for 23 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Back in 2005, he had 3,000 yards throwing. He was a Pro Bowl player that year as well. Um, but he was very serviceable for them, and I respect him because he played for a good long time. He's one of the few NFL players that was very honest about what happened to him after, because he was actually taken, like he was robbed essentially. Like he had some bad dealings. You know, he trusted some bad advisors, and they pretty much robbed him of his money. So that's when he got a job with ESPN for a short time, if you remember, because he was broke essentially. You
That's
know,
crazy.
he had to work his way out, because that's the NFL players face that a lot. And it's interesting to see that. You know, you think it's only the skill players that are just like living fast and throwing their money around. Sometimes it's the quiet quarterback who's just has a bad uncle or a bad financial advisor who gives them a bad deal, and then they're out of all their money. And yeah, that's what happened to him.
He also upset John Elway in the 97 playoffs before Elway won those 2 Super Bowls. It looked like, Elway was never going to win a Super Bowl after that loss in 97 to Jacksonville.
Hmm. That's interesting. Pull his hat too. Like, hey, I actually beat John Elway in a playoff game. Not many people say that.
Yeah, I remember listening to that game at Dave's Dream while I was bussing tables, and I'd be hanging out in the dish room listening to the Broncos Jaguars playoff game.
Mark Brunell. He was drafted 93, 5th round, 118th pick by Green Bay.
When they had Kurt Warner and Matt Hasselbeck and Mark Brunell, all his backups behind Favre.
Yeah, that QB room is ridiculous. That staff, that Mike Holmgren Green Bay staff is legendary. John Gruden and like Steve Mariucci was on there, and there's so many people on that team, like coaches that coach tree was ridiculous.
He's in the Rose Bowl Hall of Fame. He's a 91 Rose Bowl MVP, a 91 national champion with the Washington Huskies.
Oh wow.
All Pac-10 team in 1992. He's the NFL passing yards leader in 96. 3 Pro Bowls, 96, 97, 99, and that Super Bowl championship with the Saints, right?
Yep. He has 2,400 yards rushing in his career.
Yeah, he could move before
Very impressive. Very impressive.
Some knee injuries.
Very impressive, because not you wouldn't think him, God, them left arm quarterbacks, him and Steve Young, very shifty left arm quarterbacks.
I don't know why. I love watching a lefty play quarterback.
No, it's sacrilegious.
Oh man, it's so fun.
Nah.
Vic, Steve Young.
Nah.
That's all I got. Just those 3.
Not Tua. They would make the cut.
All right, we'll be back next week with our big, huge announcement. Good luck to Brandon and Slade, and have fun, everybody.
All right, guys, have a good luck. Good luck to the championship, and have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.